So you know what's going to happen, right? You can feel it inside. They're going to announce Splatoon 3 at E3. What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru, and man, it's time for that breakdown.
That sweet breakdown.
Basically what it is today I just want to talk about something that just hit me the other day. I was actually recording with Joe after work, good friend of mine, last night, and we were talking about some things, and the discussion came up about Splatoon 2. And I immediately started to hit on a couple of things in that video, but I wanted to do a breakout video and kind of elaborate a little bit further than where I was. So let's just go back, okay? It's the Wii U era, it's E3, and Nintendo announces this new IP that nobody knows what it is, nobody sees it coming, and it's a juggernaut, and it's called Splatoon. And at that time, I remember that game coming out, and it got very mixed reactions across the board. Game winds up launching May 2015 to better reactions and people really enjoying the game and loving the game. 2 years later, Nintendo launches Splatoon 2. And last year they launched the Octo expansion pack, and this year it makes me wonder, because everything that we've been told is this is on the downward decline. They're going to do away with Splatfest soon. They're going to do away. They've already done away with the updates. We're not getting any more updates in terms of like gear and maps and all that stuff. But you know they're working on the game. They got to be working on the new game. And most shooters, the turnaround is a year, 2 years. You look at like Call of Duty. Call of Duty's annualized. We get it all the time. Nintendo doesn't like to annualize games. But if you look at where they are with their trend of Splatoon, it was 2 years and we got a new game. Now, do I feel like we'll get a new game in 2 years? I don't know. And if that's the case, then we would essentially get it this year, right? I don't think we're going to get it this year, but to say that Nintendo would announce it at E3 and then launch it in 2020, it's not a bold statement. It's a very viable solution. I mean, it could happen. When you think about Splatoon 2 versus Splatoon 1, it wasn't a massive change of pace. It was, for the most part, the same game. They added a few things, Salmon Run, the Octo expansion, and then you looked at like the single player game was there, but the biggest change was Salmon Run to anything that they did. When I look at this, I go, there is a strong possibility that we could get the new Splatoon. Man, it could be get launched any time. It could be announced at any time. Because if Nintendo looks at the success of Splatoon 2, and they're doing nothing for this, and that's what confuses me. You have a game like Splatoon 2 that has a massive fan base, a massive install base. It doesn't make sense to me why Nintendo would just stop continuing to produce content for this. Whether it be new gear, new weapons, new maps, new anything. Like, I don't understand why it kind of stopped and why it went radio silent all of a sudden. I know that Nintendo originally said, like, hey, we're going to do gear and stuff for a year, and then we're going to do Splatfest for 2 years, and then we're done. But I don't understand when you have a game that's this successful, that's this huge, why you would walk away. Why are you doing, essentially, a tournament for a 2-year-old game? Smash, I get, because Smash is new. Mario Maker, I get, because Mario Maker is new. Splatoon, yes, it's a hugely popular game, but there has to be more to it. And people keep looking at the 2 games, right? You look at, or the 3 games, but you look at the 2 they're talking about more. Talking about Smash, and people feel like a new character can get announced during that Smash tournament. And then you look at the Mario Maker one, and people feel like a new skin or something could get announced during that. And that would lead you to think, like, what could come out of the Splatoon tournament? And I feel like there's a possibility of a Splatoon 3. Do I think Nintendo announces Splatoon 3 at this E3? Man, it's hard to say, really. Because if you look at what they did with Splatoon 1, All signs point to yes. But there's been no leaks, no rumors of this happening, and Splatoon is a huge franchise for Nintendo. I could totally see this happening. I really could. Let's put it this way. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Would it shock me if it happened? No. I'd be excited, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a too far going conclusion to think that this is in the realm of possibilities this year. Something for Splatoon is in the realm of possibilities. So let's just play a little devil's advocate, a little what if. Let's look at this. Let's say that Nintendo does announce Splatoon 3. Right? They come out, they go, we're gonna put out Splatoon 3 in 2020. Here we go. And this is what it is. My feeling is this. There's some things that they need to do and don't do in this version that they've done in the past versions. So let's just start with the don'ts. These are the things that Nintendo should not do. The one thing that I think drove a lot of people crazy was Splatoon 2 over Splatoon 1. So Splatoon 1, we kind of got the drops, the slow drops. We understood it. We got it. It did not make any sense with Splatoon 2. They had so many maps they could have put out right out the gates and got things going, but they put out the initial maps and then it just disappeared for a lot longer than I thought it would be. You know, when you looked at Splatoon 1, we were getting maps the week after that game launched. This was so far off, and it just doesn't make any sense to me why it took so long. So for me, I would say, don't do the slow drops. That's got to stop. You need to come out the gates with a healthy number and go. We'll get into that in a minute. The fact that they lock Salmon Run to like every 24 hours, like 24 hours on, 24 hours off, that type of thing, that needs to stop. That is so bad. And it's so frustrating when people want to play a game and they just can't go play. I paid you $60 for this game. I paid you for all the modes. Why are certain things locked behind time? And that doesn't make sense to me. I feel like Nintendo needs to unlock that and leave it unlocked moving forward. That's my opinion. And then the other thing is the way the maps drop. So the maps used to be like, you get a map, 2 hours later, here's another couple random maps. 2 hours later, couple random maps. I didn't like that system. That system, I got it with Splatoon 1. I understood it. I defended it. Splatoon 2, I don't get it. I don't like it. I want it to change. I hate playing a map or two maps for 2 hours, and then you get dominated by one most of the time. And if it's a bad map and you don't like it, it doesn't go away. And it's horrible. I wouldn't mind playing a map once or twice that I didn't like, but to play it for 2 hours, it's just frustrating beyond belief. So I would hope that would get changed moving forward. So now let's jump into the do's. These are the things that I think that Nintendo should do with a sequel to Splatoon. These are the things that I really want. And here we go. So I feel like when you launch the game, you start with 10 maps. 10 maps is a nice round number. It doesn't get anybody frustrated. You could take your time then to do updates to maps and add new maps. 10 maps will give everybody plenty of time to play and enjoy and not even worry about things. So I feel like when you come out the gates, give us more than 4 or 5 maps. Give a nice, healthy number. They could be retro maps for all anybody cares. Give us like 3 new maps, brand new maps, and 7 old maps. I don't think a single person would complain.
It's the internet. Somebody would complain.
And maybe 7 old maps is a bit overkill. Maybe 5 and 5 would be a nice number, I think. But I feel like they need to come out with a good number of maps. So I think there should be one of two things. We should either have a voting system similar to Mario Kart, where they pop up a bunch of different maps and all 8 players can pick a map that they want, and then the most votes wins, and boom, it goes in. That seems to like the best way to do it. It's the way they do it with Mario Kart. I don't understand why they don't implement it here in Splatoon 2, but let's just say that they don't want to do that. I feel like the 2 hours is a little too long. I would probably be more happy if they rotate out like every 30 minutes or maybe every hour. Maybe if they were just to go like, hey, you're going to get one map for 30 minutes, done. Then it switches, and then you get another map for 30 minutes, done. And then every 30 minutes, just change the map out. That I would probably be happier with than 2 hours of 2 maps and running the risk of getting bombarded with one map over and over and over again for 2 hours. Because that's what happens essentially. One map tends to dominate, and you'll play 5-6 times in a row, play one on the other one, and then back to another 3 or 4. gets a little monotonous and a little annoying, honestly, if I'm being legit here. I would hope that Nintendo would include a new boss mode, like a raid mode, where me and like 3 or 4 of my friends can all go in and fight these bosses. The one thing that Splatoon 1 does to perfection is they create these boss battles that are really epic and really cool, and it's so Nintendo-ish, the way they dive in and they go deep with these characters and the way you play and the way you handle it and the way you fight and these scenes. It would be awesome if they just up the power of the beasts a little bit, and then you and your friends come in and just tackle down these crazy raids. Like, it would be so cool to be able to do that. Get the voice chat going, hang out, all your friends, and you're just attacking bosses. I would love it. Here's something. Allow voice chat in the console rather than the cell phone. Everybody wants it. They're tired of the cell phones. Make it happen, Nintendo. Partner with Discord. Make it happen. Even if it comes in the next iteration. Please give us voice chat for Splatoon in the console. Done. Period. Make it happen. I would love to see them do monthly tournaments where, like, you still have Splatfests, which are once a month, and then basically what you do is you do a Splatfest, 2 weeks later, a tournament. 2 weeks later, Splatfest, 2 weeks, tournament. I would enjoy it. I would love it. I think it would be a lot of fun. I would like to see them create a single-player turf mode. Maybe you do a map smaller, take 4 players, throw them in the map. Each one has a different color, and it's basically every man for himself, so to speak. Or open it up a little bit, make it a little bigger, and 8 players go in at once. I think it adds a little something different to the game. And also, when you're playing, when you win, you feel like it's you winning more than the team, and you feel like you control your destiny a little bit better than the other way. I feel like when you play Splatoon 2 and you're on the turf mode thing, if you're dominating but the rest of your team's doing badly, it just feels like you're never going to win. So I feel like there's a different type of action, a different type of turf war mode that they can implement. Solo campaign, solo player. Let's make it happen. So 2 final things that I want to see happen. 1, I want them to rip something off from Fortnite again, and I want weekly achievements. Weekly and daily achievements, where you unlock exclusive gear to these achievements. Because I want this game to become the legacy game. I want this to be the final version of the game. Maybe 5-10 years down the road we get a new one, but right now I feel like they should basically put this game out and update and add to it a la Fortnite every single week. Every 10 weeks in Fortnite we get these massive overhauls to the map and change it up and go. There's no reason why they can't go, hey, this week here's all this exclusive gear. They could start implementing Nintendo stuff where you get, like, you can unlock Mario hats and Zelda shirts, and maybe you can unlock a bow, or maybe there's an exclusive weapon. Maybe there's, I love the arrow spray. Maybe there's an exclusive purple arrow spray that nobody can get unless you unlock it in a weekly challenge. These are some things that Nintendo should lean on and look at. I'm not looking for Battle Royale mode. I feel like everybody's doing it now. Nintendo doesn't need to jump into that with Splatoon. Keep it what it is. But man, lean into the achievements every week. Lean into the fact and give people, seriously, give them gear, give them experience points, and give them gold coins. It's very similar to what Fortnite does. Fortnite gives us experience, they give us gear, outfits, stuff like that, and they give us V-Bucks. If you did this stuff, you would get people coming back every single day. There's days that I don't really want to even play Fortnite, but I still log in to see what the daily challenges are, see what kind of new gear they got out. It is amazing. And I'm always logging in once a week because I want to see what the new achievements are, the new things I have to do to unlock. It adds a meta game within the game, and I think if they did this, it would be fantastic. And like I said, I want this to be the legacy game. I want this to be the final game. That's it. You get this game, they do updates, they follow it, and that's the way it is. So that is all. Thank you guys for watching today's episode of the Nintendo Guru Daily. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please slap the like button down below. Share it with all your friends. If you're not a subscriber, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I really don't. I don't get it. I don't understand. It is what it is. So follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. Real quickly, down in the comments below, what do you think about my ideas? Do you like them? Do you hate them? What would you like to see added to Splatoon 3? And do you think we're going to get a Splatoon 3? When? Let me know when in the comments below. That is all. Peace out, Preston.